answer all of your questions live. So anybody that has a question about getting started with Now Lifestyle, then we're going to answer those questions for you and make sure that you guys can make an informed decision. So with that being said, looks like David's getting some shout outs already from people on his team, like Robson, which is awesome. So we're going to make this puppy a little bit bigger right here. Boom. Awesome. It's always nice to see the bigger version of you. So
make my head
without
big.
further ado, my guest tonight, his name is Dave Gardner. And if you don't recognize him, in the back office, he has a special training that he did a few months back, which helps people that may be on a limited budget developing and go get free leads for their Now Lifestyle business. Now, free marketing is a way that a lot of people promote this business. Like I know Greg Schmidt, who is on the top 10 all-time leaderboard, and he primarily does free marketing. So it can be done, guys. All you got to do is apply yourself. So Dave did an awesome job creating that training. And Dave has also done an incredible job over the last year of staying very, very consistent with his Now Lifestyle business. And I think one of the coolest things is Dave is only doing this part-time. He's not doing this full-time. This is kind of like a part-time gig for him. And he's earned almost $30,000. I don't know about you. I'm pretty sure that just about everybody on this webinar could use an extra $30,000. So I'll never turn down $30,000. I know Dave won't turn down $30,000, but yeah, without further ado, guys, please give a warm welcome to my man, my friend, my workout buddy, and one of my business partners, Mr. Dave Gardner. Welcome to the Tuesday webinar, my friend. Good to have you on.
Hey, thank you for having me, Daniel. Glad to be here and glad to share anything I can.
Awesome. Well, first off, why don't you, I mean, I know obviously you're very active in the Now Lifestyle group, but for those that are new, for those that are here watching this for the first time, or those that might just need a refresher, why don't you just share a little bit about what led you into wanting to build an online business with Now Lifestyle? What made you say yes, and what made you go for it and really work at this part-time?
Sure. I had been actually with Joel since 2009. I had we had two daughters already, and I with my ex-wife, and I had a third daughter. And at that point, I was like, man, I'm going to have all these weddings and colleges to pay for, and just all these expenses that come with having daughters. And God bless them, I love them and all that. And so, and I went through, I wanted to figure out, something better and something more that I could, possibly stay home and work from home and be able to, raise my family. And I had already gone and I did international programs when I was in college. I lived in Central America and Belize for a semester. And then I did Peace Corps, and I lived in the South Pacific in the Solomon Islands for 2 years. And I just loved traveling around the world. And so I wanted to be able to get out there and experience other things. And, just with the limited budget that I was making, or limited income I was making as a teacher, which, we do have great benefits, and I got great, summer breaks. I'm actually on summer break right now. So I'm going to be a full-time Now Lifestyle for the next 2 months, which I'm really excited about. And so just having that opportunity to get out there and, go through different parts of the world, I want to be able to do that more. And I want to be able to bring my kids into that and, take those experiences. And so I started to get into online marketing, back in 2009, and I found Joel's programs with GVO. And I started hosting my website for them, and I just created, some simple websites for, I'm in the lacrosse niche, I'm a lacrosse coach. And I ended up building, long story short, I ended up creating a lacrosse book. So what I needed, of course, was the tools to host it and to sell it, but also to, communicate with my customers with that email autoresponder. And so, long story short, again, moving forward, to 2017, Joel comes out with this program that ties in the fitness aspect to everything, with a great comp plan and having all the marketing tools. And like, as soon as I saw what he had planned, I instantly said, okay, this is it. This is the one that I know is going to be something that's going to be amazing, just because both the health and fitness niche and the marketing niche are just so enormous worldwide. And, the scope that I have and the background knowledge that I have, that, I could bring it into the lacrosse field, and I could bring it in to the marketing field right there, that I knew from the beginning that it was a perfect fit for me. And so I went all in, and, right from day one, and it was kind of funny, for those of you that know who Seb is, I ended up contacting Joel, and Joel pointed me in Seb's direction, so we teamed up together. And I actually ended up going all in before Seb did, just because I think I got the emails a little bit earlier than he did, and so support had to kind of tweak that. Usually, if your sponsor doesn't have a certain level, those commissions get passed up. So we kind of fixed that all, because that was all right in the beginning. This is back in January 2017 through March 2017 when the pre-launch took place, and when we really started to be able to get into be those original Mavericks and what they now call the NLS Pro in the back office. So it was just one of those things that as evolved in my education in marketing, and then like I said, having that ability of having that fitness material, having the marketing tools, I wanted to get into better shape myself. So it was kind of like a win-win-win situation, and I just jumped right all in, and I haven't looked back since.
Perfect. And I think by doing that and by going all in right from day one and taking massive action, obviously you've reaped some of the benefits of that, which is making the monthly leaderboard. I think you're on the monthly leaderboard right now, which is fantastic. And then I know you're working towards the all-time leaderboard. As a matter of fact, I think you're just right there from getting on it, which is really cool.
I'm at number 12 right now.
Yeah, stomping at the bit.
Yeah, there's some guy who's named Joel Terrian on there. He's number 11, so I'm gunning for him next, but. He doesn't know how he's on there. There must have been some other random account that had some of his leads in there that kind of blew up. But
yep. Oh well. I'm sure you'll pass him soon. So take us through. Obviously you saw the value in Now Lifestyle. You got started. You saw the value of going all in, because obviously you get the bigger commissions. You don't want to lose those commissions. And I mean, let me just share this with everybody too. I mean, just in 2017 alone, so last year, guys, I think I earned well over $3,000 in just passed up commissions from people below me that I sponsored in that were driving traffic, but they didn't go all in themselves. And I don't understand it, because I would physically pick up the phone. I would reach out to these people and be like, yo, thanks for the commission, but you may want to go all in. Like, let me get you a special link. Go 5-pay. I'll make it easy for you. And they still don't do it. I don't understand why people like giving away money. Like, I'll take it, but it does happen in this business. So you don't want to lose any commissions, guys. You want to, mimic Dave and many of the other top leaders that see the value and they go all in right away. So take us back to the beginning, where obviously you saw the value, you went all in. You partnered with a mentor or a coach, and Seb, guys started working together. What were some specific things that you did to really get your business moving? Because obviously at this point, I mean, you have how many people do you have on your team at this point total?
Looking at both legs, I think it's about 650.
650 people on your team.
Yeah, 650, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet just about everybody that's on this chat right now that's watching this webinar live would love 650 people on their team. So what are some of the things what are some of the things that you did to start really driving traffic or start connecting with people? How did you really start working your business when you first got started?
Yeah, having been involved in some marketing, it's not like I just came out of the blue and started doing it. I have had experience in marketing. And a lot of it was just pure engagement, just getting on and starting to talk to people on Facebook, getting into some of the social groups that were just generic, marketing groups where half the time people are just blogging random or posting random ads that no one ever checks and no one ever looks at anyways, but actually maybe just asking a question or, responding to something that they said without an actual link, and just giving, some engagement and providing value. And then, actually maybe sending people private messages. It's not just about, just blasting random things and hoping that someone's going to come to you. It's not like the movie Field of Dreams. You can't just build it and they're going to come. You have to go out there and continue to take action. And so I was, almost every night, I'd come home from school, and then, for a couple hours each night, I would get online and I would go through and I would engage with people. I would talk to people. I would tell them about what was going on, with the program. I knew that they were already involved in marketing, and I would recommend the tools that we had and, say, okay, you can check it out. It's You can come check it out for $1, or you can check it out for free, or you can come check it out and we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you're not going to lose anything in the long run. And, maybe you'll find that you actually like the program because it is already fitting with you, and we're getting, great delivery rates if we're just talking about the email service. And so a lot of it in the beginning was just getting out and reaching out to people, that I was familiar with, or that I had been friends with and had been contacts with online. And then I would also at the same time, record some of the stuff that I was doing. I would record what the back member area looked like, and I would share those videos on YouTube. I'd share them in the Facebook group, and if people had questions about it, I would create a video, or I would create, like a one-page document, or a multi-page document PDF guide, just sharing how to go through step by step to run through the tools and the software to make it easy for them, so they could just go in and try to figure it out. As time went on, and once we had things going and we were starting to get into the actual launch, then I started to go in and I started to buy some solo ads, and I started to do some other Facebook advertising, which didn't work out great. So I'm really glad that they now have that build your list with leads tab in the back office.
But the point is, you tried it. You didn't just do one thing and give up. It sounded like obviously you've been trying many different things and using different things. So just to recap real quick,
right? Exactly.
The first thing you did is you started reaching out to Facebook groups, commenting, asking questions. You reached out to people that you knew in the industry, and then you got into running some solo ads. So I mean, it seems like you kind of took a lot of action right in the very beginning, which is good. Now, would you say that you did everything perfectly?
Oh, of course not.
Yeah. So that'd be a lesson, guys. I mean, David took massive, imperfect action, but that's also led him to the results that he's achieved today. So we don't expect anybody to be perfect. We don't expect anyone to, be an expert or a topic expert right from day one. Just take massive, imperfect action, and you'll learn as you go. So obviously we launch officially to the public, which now we have people can create the free sign up, and then you start driving some solo ads. So what are some things that you did from there?
Well, yeah, again, kind of just going back to that just for a second, it's the whole idea of fail forward fast. You learn and you make mistakes, but don't just quit from that. Learn from it and move on, and figure out what actually does work. And so, I would tweak things, my messages down to people, and and again, things started to slowly grow. And again, those 650 people that I have, or 600, whatever the number is, that again, I've been in since January 2017, so I've been in for a year and a half now. It's not something that just happened on day one. And a lot of people think that, oh, we're going to come in and I just started and I paid, so where's my downline? Where's my money? Where are my commissions? It doesn't happen that easily. And so, as time went on and I started to figure out what was working and what wasn't, again, it was part of being consistent. I would email my leads that I had already accumulated from a solo ad, or if I had done, a new solo ad, I would continue to follow them up. If they provided a phone number, I, personally, just because of my time, I was following up through text messages. If you have more time, and maybe this summer, because I have a little more time, I'm going to be following up with phone calls. But the key thing is that I was sending emails to those people as well at the same time. If they didn't follow up and didn't respond to my text message, I was also getting the email delivered to them as well. And so, again, it wasn't just one thing that I followed up with. It was multiple different solo ad providers that I tested out and tried. It was Facebook advertising that I continued and kind of tweaked and maybe tried some other ads. Some worked, some crashed, and some didn't. And, some would give me better leads, some wouldn't. And that's kind of part of how the game goes. And so as time went on, I was also doing, increasing in social media growth. And so inside that, NLS Professional, there's a great class on Instagram. And so I started to tweak my Instagram page. And, just started to align things a little bit more there. And, whether or not I'm getting leads from that, I haven't gone through the metrics and, figured out where those are from. But I know that things that I do outside of just Facebook have definitely brought me leads. I continue to make.
The guy that created that Instagram course, he's a cool dude.
What's that?
Said I know the guy that made that Instagram course. He's a cool dude.
That was your twin brother, right?
Yeah.
And so, these things, I've had people that reach out to me, that found my videos on YouTube, and whether it's for Now Lifestyle or any other program, because one of the things that we have to remember with Now Lifestyle is we have this software known as Sinshark inside there that you can use for any business. And so if you run, for example, let's say you own a pizza store and you are wanting to make and build your customer leads list for pizzas, maybe you give a free offer of, let's say a free topping or free soda for, just joining the email list. And then you can email those people consistently. So we have a product that we can use anywhere, but let's say the pizza store has their own YouTube video, and that YouTube video is going to generate some traffic for the local market for pizzas. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing with my videos for Now Lifestyle. I'm putting up my fitness videos. I'm doing, Sinshark videos and how that all works. So I'm doing all different things just for Now Lifestyle. And I'm going to continue to get views on that. I'm going to continue to get leads from that, from efforts that I put in, maybe a month ago, 5 months ago, 10 months ago. And at the same time, I'm still emailing those people. Now, some of those emails and some of those leads that I got months ago, they're trickling in now as upgrading to even just a free membership. So they might have just been on one of the campaigns, like if they were in the Amazing campaign or the Now Lifestyle campaign, they just come in as regular free lead, just regular generic leads. They don't have a username, they don't have an account. But because I consistently stay in touch with them and I consistently engage with them, as does Joel, what happens is I've seen people 10 months to a year later either join as a free member or join as a $1 trial member, which then upgrades into the, the normal $50 a month membership. So a lot of this that's, again, since the beginning when we really launched, it's just been the consistency of, doing some advertising, doing social media, doing videos. Okay. And even if you're not comfortable putting your face on a video, you could do screen capture. Okay. Yep. You can just actually do a video of just record yourself talking over like a PowerPoint presentation. And, a lot of our videos, even there's some videos in the back office that you can download and share and put on your own website or put on your own YouTube channel and then add your link to it.
Content is everywhere, guys. Literally content. So let me just stop you right there, Dave. I want to circle back to obviously the theme of what you're talking about right now is obviously from contacts that you've made, traffic that you've driven, videos that you've had. People have obviously opted onto your list, and you have been. Some of these people now from 10 months, a year ago, are now upgrading into paid accounts, free accounts, whatever, but they're upgrading now. And that is because you consistently do what?
I am consistently following up with them. I'm consistently sending them emails. And sometimes
I say that you send an email out every day?
I try. I know during the month of May, I challenged myself and I did it 31 days in a row. Okay. That's awesome. Normally I'm at least 4 to 5 days a week. I'll get an email out. And, like next week, I am one of the beauties of this is next week, Danielle, my girlfriend and I, who, if you guys are in active in the Facebook group, you should know who Danielle is. She's the really cute girl who's posting videos there all the time. And we are actually going on a cruise next week. And so one of the beauties of the Sinshark and the lead capture system is that we can put set emails and we can plan the days that we want them. We can set them to go in advance. So I can just plan some generic emails for that. I'm not sure what my email access is going to be, in the middle of the Caribbean, but, I still want some emails to go out. But a lot of my emails are with stories. Okay. You want to let people know that you're a real person. It's not just about sending an email that says, join me. Okay. They don't want that. They get enough of that junk from every other marketer on the planet that's probably filling their inbox. You want them to be, you want to be the person that they want to look forward to opening the email. Maybe it's a little humor, maybe it's a little story, maybe it's another clip or video and something of value. So, it probably gets to the point where, in every email, I will tell people if they haven't created an account yet, I'm not sure what you're waiting for, but at least create the free account. And if you are at the free account level, at least try the $1 level. But usually I'm trying to add something in there. I'm trying to give something engaging that maybe talks about my life or some experience I had, or maybe even just shows one of the workouts that we just did, or talks about the value of eating the consuming the protein and taking the fiber pills, and how the Elevate works and things like that. So it's always trying to add something of value that a person would want to keep reading your emails. And so apparently if 10 months later they're still joining me, then I guess that's a good sign that they're still reading my emails.
Mm-hmm. And I think obviously it's your consistency that has gotten those people that have been on your list for a while. Because I mean, realistically, you never know when is the right time for somebody. But the point is, I think, and you're a great example of this, is being consistent over a period of time. And we talk about this on a lot of webinars where it's, how do the leaders get on the leaderboard? Well, it's plain and simple. They stay consistent, they take massive action, and then they can stay consistent for a period of time. And so obviously you've done a great job with being consistent on social media, being consistent with your videos, being consistent with your emails. And what's great is you're even challenging yourself to get better at what you've been doing for a while. So it's not like, hey, I've arrived. You're still working, you're still pushing yourself to be better and stronger and grow your business more and more and more. And obviously, with a team of 600 plus, those results speak for themselves. And like I said before, I think anybody here that's watching this would love to have 600 people under their belt. So what I'm going to do now is...
1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, kind of, going back to that, what you said earlier about, my placement on the AllTime leaderboard. And I just want to point that out again. When you look at that leaderboard, most, if not all of those, and it might even be some people below me too, are doing this full time. So that whole point about, you can do this in your spare time. Now, does that mean that you're just going to try to attract people that are only doing it in their spare time? Maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's not, I don't know. But the key thing is that even though, I'm working full time, now I have a great, break where I can even go more, but for 10 months out of the year, I'm busting my tail because, deep in my heart and deep in my head, I know that this is going to be a successful business for me and my family. I want to build this for them, and I want to build a legacy. It's not just something that I'm creating. And, like Daniel said, it's not like something I'm like going to sit back and be like, oh, I've arrived, I'm going to let the other 650 people do the work. I need to be the leader. I need to
lead from the front
and lead from the front and, lead by example. And, there might be days where it's like, okay, well, I'm exhausted, or, I need to do this and I need to do that. Between myself and Danielle, we have 7 kids. And so I have 3 and she has 4. So, there's a lot that's going on outside of work and, this business that keeps us busy and keeps us doing things. But it's even taking 5 to 10 minutes and just sending an email out, just something quick, just, say, hey, like the other day, I sent an email out just stating that I was going to my daughter's dance recital. And I gave them a heads up that, this Tuesday, which is now, of course, we were going to be on a live webinar. So, it's just, again, it's that ability to push away everything and maybe give some sacrifices of, not watching TV for a night, or not watching, 3 hours of TV, maybe only watch 2 hours of TV, and, maybe read a book instead, maybe, put out an email, and, it's all about tweaking what you've been doing to help get you where you want to go. And so, you have to do that internally. We can tell you all these different scenarios. Daniel can, share all of his experience as well. But until you physically go out and do it, you're not going to see the results that you want.
So you mean you can't get results just by signing up? You actually have to do something.
No, and I've seen a lot of those responses in the group. You're like, yeah, I joined last week. How come I haven't gotten paid yet? It's like, well, okay, well, what have you done? And, one of the great things that we have with the big donut hole, right? And so one of the big things that we've had that has helped with some of my commissions, of course, is that binary matrix in the back end where we can earn cycling bonuses. And some people think that, okay, well, all of a sudden, you're going to build my build my downline for me. Well, okay, we're going to build part of it. We're not going to do it for you, but I'm going to continue to place people below you. But I could put 10,000 people below you. But until you start to put that first person, you're not going to earn any commissions, on the front end. And then you have to meet that 2 to 4 ratio for those bonus cycles on the back end. So again, it's that thing where, I was talking to, it was funny, it was actually okay, so this is kind of interesting about like advertising. I don't know where the ad was, but a college coach of mine, he was my lacrosse coach in college. I went to school with, actually high school and elementary school with his sister. And I've kept in touch with him over the years. So he calls me up yesterday and just leaves me this random voicemail. I didn't know the number, so I didn't answer it. So I get too many telemarketing calls and stuff. So I just wait for the voice. And so I listened to the voicemail this morning, and I was like, holy crap, whatever. I thought it was something related to lacrosse that he called me for. And he goes, yeah, he's like, I was doing some work and I was, interested in starting some marketing. And I found this website. And I look over, and there you are on the testimonial page for having made, $19,000. I was like, holy crap. So, it's like all those efforts pay off, and you never know, kind of like what Daniel said, and not that this guy was on my list before, but you never know when the right time for someone's going to be, and you never know when someone might find your stuff or need something that you have to share. So, maybe it was a YouTube video I made months ago, and someone pulls up and, searches for something that they want, and I had the right keyword, then they see my video. Maybe Daniel had a better keyword and they find Daniel's video, because I know Daniel has killed it on YouTube over the last year. So, those things, again, are going to be very beneficial, but you have to work. You can't just show up and get paid. It's even if you do that at a job, you get fired. So,
yep. So obviously we've done a pretty good job of simplifying the now. I mean, it's always been a simple system, but it's even more simple now with the Facebook lead packages, the guaranteed paid signup. So you're out there, you're working your business, you're connecting with people on social media, you got some videos going, you got some solo ads running. When you actually sponsor somebody into your business, take everybody through the process. What is your follow-up process to really get that person basically doing what you're doing, taking action and helping them get their business off the ground?
Right here, this is one of the first things I do. Like I said, usually it's a text message, just sending them out, just something brief and quick, and just say, hey, I just noticed or recognized you registered, in the Now Lifestyle, or you took the next step to register with the Now Lifestyle with me. Congratulations. I'm here to help any way I can. And what I'll usually often do is I'll send them to one of my a side website that actually has some of those training PDFs and guides that I offer, where they can then opt into a separate list for just my downline. And then I'll also in that text message say, I also just sent you an email with these same details from my personal email, with that personal email. So, just to verify that they go check that out. And so now we're hitting it at least from, getting on my screen here, I'm hitting it at least from two ends with, the Facebook, or excuse me, with, the text message or a phone call, and then also with the email. And what I'll also do is I'll take their email, I'll highlight it, copy it, paste it. I'll pull up a Google search if it's a Gmail account to see if they have a Gmail account, and figure out, or a Google Plus account, I should say, to see if I can see a picture of what they actually look like. Because then when I go into Facebook, I can do the same thing, and I can do a search for their email or their name and try to see if I can match up that person with that email address. Because sometimes if you just do a common name, like if you were to type in Dave Gardner, there's probably 50 Dave Gardners on Facebook. So to try to find the right one can be tricky. So I'm trying in multiple avenues to find a way to connect with these people so that they know that I'm here for them. Okay, they know that I'm here and that I'm ready, and that I'm not just someone that's, trying to slam a bunch of leads in and not ever take care of their team. Again, it's that whole idea of leading by example. I'm here to help them out. So again, it would be, doing a phone call or a text message first, following up with the email, and letting them know that email came, so they know what email to look for. Because even though, I'm sending it from a Gmail account, maybe to a Gmail account, it might still end up in another folder, depending on how they have their settings set up. And, if it's through AOL or through Hotmail or some, Yahoo Mail, they might just send it to spam just based on some of the things that I mentioned in that email, even though it's coming from Gmail. So as long as they know that they should be looking out for that, that's one of the steps in the next direction to make that next contact with the people, to show them that I'm a real person and I'm ready to help them out.
So obviously I don't know if anyone caught the 47 nuggets that Dave just dropped right there, but so you sign somebody up, you got somebody in your holding tank, you send them an email, you text message them to remind them that they have an email. And obviously the text message and the emails are kind of a connection tool to say here, and you're giving them also the tools that they need to get started, which is great. Then you actually take their information and you look it up either on Google and or Facebook so you can get a visual image, and then you try to connect with them. So, I mean, you're helping them see what they need to do, you're connecting with them. And then, so I mean, if you guys are doing this, if you guys are using the Facebook leads or the guaranteed paid signups or whatever it is, and you're bringing people in your business and you're not connecting with them, you are throwing money away. Period. End of story. So
Yeah.
to Dave's point, what Dave is doing is trying to connect with them in all means possible. So all of those things are awesome. So I hope anybody is writing this stuff down, or at least maybe taking just a little bit of what you just mentioned and can take that and apply that into their business, which would be great. So now, once you actually connect with them, let's say you get a hold of them on Facebook, they text you back or they call you back or whatever it is. Once you physically connect with them, what does that process look like?
Yeah, I mean, from that point, it's, just trying to get to know them a little bit, see what their experiences are, see what they've been doing, see if they've actually gone through and watched even the first video yet.
So you mean like you have like a real conversation with them, like they're a human being?
Yeah, just to connect, just to touch base with them, because I know they're probably struggling too. Some people, again, maybe you found that diamond in the rough, some random guy that was, searching for a biz op that already had, a huge team built, and he already knows how everything works. But again, out of, if I think maybe I probably have at least 5,000 leads, give or take, in my back office between the various campaigns. And, if one of them knew, a lot about marketing, I'd be surprised. A lot of people, we have to understand, are going to come into this as probably not knowing a lot. And so if we can present them and let them know it's okay to not know everything, and that, okay, maybe what do you know? What don't you know? To try to figure that out too. That's a big problem. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times people don't even know, they're like, okay, well, I started, and we see this, as admins in the Facebook group, we see the post that say, okay, I just joined, I paid my $1, what do I do? Okay, well, hopefully, if maybe don't, and they found that page and they click right in the Facebook group, I mean, that all in theory could happen within 10 minutes, and they can join Facebook with their email that they got a new guaranteed sign up, or that they got, someone who upgraded, they didn't check their holding tank. And so it might be, 24 hours, 48 hours, depending on when they get that first contact. And so some people do come in not having a clue and where to start, but the key thing is, yes, it is pretty plain and simple. There are, steps 1, 2, 3 in that member office. I think it's down to 7 now. And, like Daniel said in the beginning, I even had the video, I think maybe it's now step 6 with the free traffic. And so just getting and communicating with them to try to figure out, okay, maybe where do they stand? Are they ready to go in, all in, or are they on a limited budget, and are they looking for free traffic? Because at that point, we can say, hey, if you want to start fast, you can start by doing paid leads or guaranteed signups. So, there's a button right on the top of the member area that has that under the reseller tools. You got build your list with guaranteed signups and build your list with leads. If you're on a smaller budget or a limited budget, if we find out that's the scenario they're on, okay, well then go watch the video on paid traffic methods. Now, everyone doesn't have a blog, but pretty much everyone can have Instagram and Facebook, because those are all free tools that are available where they can start to engage with people and start to join groups and start to communicate and offer value. Even if they don't, like Daniel mentioned before, there's content everywhere. Joel himself provides content through his fan page that you can share on your own pages. Okay, now right now any post in the Facebook, the specific Now Lifestyle Facebook group, doesn't have the ability to be shared, but Joel's fan page does. And what I find often that people do and make mistakes on is that they'll share his post, but then that's it. They leave it blank. You have to make sure you provide some content with it. Give your own 2 cents to it. Put your own sentence in there. Put your own little paragraph or your own take on what Joel is sharing and maybe what it means in your life. And then put a link to your affiliate, or put your affiliate link to the free trial where they can find out more. I mean, Joel is always posting pictures of his ripped muscles. And so if you want to look like that, or if you're sharing that on your page, you could just say something as simple as, my goal over the summer is to, cut down some weight and, start to look like Joel. Join me in this challenge and provide your free link. And so many people just forget to do that simple step.
Yeah, let me chime in on that for one quick second. I've actually, a lot of my members don't know this, but I've actually gone onto their Facebook profiles and, gone through their feed. And when you're using social media, specifically when you're using Facebook to advertise your business, don't do it every single post. And I've seen it where it's like every single post in their news feed is just a forward of another post and like, here's my link. And it's like, that doesn't tell a story. It's not genuine. And to your point, it's not going to interest anybody. You have to tell a little bit of a story and explain why you're sharing that. But also, if you're going to promote your business on Facebook, that's fine, go for it. But maybe also tie in a little bit about who you are. Why would somebody want to join you? It's not why someone wants to join Now Lifestyle. And this is what a lot of people don't think about, is that people join people. No one is going to join Now Lifestyle because Joel's awesome. Maybe some people do. But most people are going to join Dave because Dave's a cool shit. Like, Dave's a good freaking dude. People want to join Dave because he's a real genuine guy and he helps people with their business. That's why people join Dave. They don't join Dave because he's in Now Lifestyle. That's not the reason. So if you're going to post your business on Facebook, post your business, but tell a story. But then also post some everyday real lifestyle things. Here's something you guys can write down. When you're posting on Facebook, remember this acronym, RVL. And that's what you want to post. Results, value, lifestyle. So, share results with people. If Dave, if anybody in Now Lifestyle just went to Emerald, or they made Sapphire, or they made Diamond, or whatever it is, you can share one of those posts, or you can share one of Joel's congratulations posts and says, hey, congrats to this rock star for kicking ass and taking names in his business. Value, if someone posts a really cool webinar that you want to share with people, hint, nudge, wink, then you can take a really good note and you can say, hey guys, I just learned this cool fact about posting on Instagram last night, or I learned this really cool thing about webinars, or I learned this really cool thing about XYZ. And then you turn around and you share that with people. You give them value. And then lifestyle, share your everyday life. Like what you're doing, like, what makes you cool, what makes you relatable to everybody else out there, what is going to attract other people to you. So RVL, results, value, lifestyle. Those are the things that you want to post. You do not want to post your Now Lifestyle link every single day, 5 times a day, and that's all you post. It's not going to help you win. So anyway.
Hey, one thing about
rant over, but
one thing about our added in the value there. I had this and remembered this from years ago too, and you brought it up at the New England conference. That I think it was Ray Higdon, talks about the whole idea of uncashed checks.
Yeah, your notes. Yep.
And so, hopefully in the beginning of this webinar, Daniel told you guys get a pen and paper. And so if you didn't do it tonight, find the replay somewhere and go through and watch this again, because there are things that you can pull out. Now, you don't have to make a huge post of every single thing we talked about. You can just do a 1 or 2 sentence thing and pick another 2 sentences for tomorrow or the next day. And you could feed off this for the next week or 2 just from things you learned tonight. And so as you continue to provide that value, then people see you as the leader, because your social network is not going to be the same exact network that I have. Now, even though we probably have a lot of mutual friends, there's a lot of friends that you have that I don't have. And so anything that you share, those people are going to see. And again, they're going to start to see you, and they're going to start to follow you as the leader. And like you said, people just don't join businesses. Anyone could join, a health and fitness business, because there's a ton of them out there. But they're looking at us. They're looking at how we present ourselves. They're looking at how we, treat other people. They're looking at how we go and we, manage ourselves, and how we, share things, and how we help others out. That's what they're really looking for.
Yeah, and that's because what we said earlier is that people join people. They're not going to join a company. They're going to join other leaders. They're going to join people because they resonate with people. And that's just it. It's a people business. And you guys need to think about this from your point of view. You're going to resonate with somebody else by being who you are, by being personable and posting about results, value, and lifestyle. You're going to resonate with someone, period. And someone's going to ask you, just like Dave was doing in the very beginning, he was reaching out to people. People are going to reach out to you and say, hey, I saw your post the other day. Tell me more about that. And that's how you win. You don't do it by posting your link, over and over again, day after day after day after day. That's not going to help you win. You got to be real. You got to be genuine. So back to David. So once you help somebody get started, it sounds like perfect, because you're reaching out with them, you're trying to connect with them. When you do actually connect with them, you have a real life conversation with them. You find out where they are, what they need, and then you help them get started by realistically just going through the dashboard, correct?
Yeah, a lot of it's just pointing out how, as we said in the beginning, that we have actually made the system, the developers team, and basically, people like Daniel and myself, as well as the rest of the leaders group, continually make recommendations to Joel on how to tweak and make the membership area a little bit more streamlined. And so, a couple months ago they did that, and we started to hear some really good results about, when people that actually will go in and register and see, okay, I watched the first video and it told me I can do one of two things. I can click the health button or the business button, and then I can go through those steps. And so, if they haven't done that, it's basically, again, just reiterating that, okay, just go through the steps. And so I've seen people that also post that on, the Facebook group. They'll say, okay, well, where do I start? And then someone will come in and say, hey, have you watched the videos yet? And then they'll just say, oh, well, why can't you just tell me what to do? Like, well, we just did. It's pretty plain and simple to try to do this. Now, part of what we're trying to do, of course, as business builders, is to make a lifestyle business where we can go enjoy our life. And so the goal is to not have to spend 8 hours a day training people and going through step by step. But that doesn't mean we don't want to connect with the people and point them in the right direction. Now, as a teacher, I kind of do the same thing. Like, a lot of times students will come to me and they just think I'm going to give them the answer, and that doesn't benefit them. Okay, they need to have a learning process where they can actually go through and they can take ownership, because eventually they're going to have to give that information back, whether it's on a test or a quiz or something in the school setting. But if you're building this as a business, you're going to need to also do the same thing when you start to sponsor people. So if you are not familiar with that back office, it's going to be a little bit hard in the beginning, and that's okay. Okay, that's not a problem, because I'll often tell anyone that I sponsor that, feel free that, if people have questions in your downline that you refer, they can send me an email, or they can reach out to me, or they can also go to the website as well and access those PDF guides and quick start documents, because I want that system to grow. We want to be able to have something that is duplicatable. We want something that is easy to recreate and easy to do. If you give something that's a billion steps, no one wants to do it. We have about 7. Okay, we have about 7 steps in the back office, and then it's just, wash, rinse, repeat. Okay, you just keep doing it over and over again. Once you've done your first setup, and you've clicked that red button, and you've put in your name and your email and your Skype and your Facebook account, you don't ever have to do that again. That's done for you. Once you go through and you edit your provided messages, a lot of you have that have come on, you already have email autoresponder follow-ups that are in the lead capture system. And so if you go in and edit those messages, you do it once and then it's done for you. You don't have to worry about it again. Then it's just a process of okay, let's start doing advertising. Let's bring it in and continually do that over and over and over again, and follow up with send broadcasts. Okay, do the live broadcasts as well on a daily basis, or at least a few times a week. So again, getting back to it, it's basically, I'm going to become familiar with them. They're going to become familiar with me after an introduction, and I want to make sure that they are following those right steps. And so if they haven't, you can usually tell if no one's gotten a lead, or you don't see any non-personal downline signups, or if they've just stayed at the like the NLS pre-launch member, if you got them through the guaranteed paid signups, they're not really doing anything. Okay, maybe they didn't even log into their account after the first week. And so, maybe it's another follow-up email, maybe it's another text message to say, hey, I'm wondering if you have any other questions. I see you haven't been active in the Facebook group, or, I saw you didn't answer anything. You didn't respond to my last message. Just wondering, where your struggles are, or what, what's going on. How can I help you? Or maybe even what you've liked so far and what's holding you back. So there's a variety of questions you can kind of ask them, to see what's going on if you've noticed that they haven't been doing anything. Now, on the same end, when you see people that are getting a bunch of leads, heck, congratulate them, send them a message. Yeah. I'll post that, if someone goes all in, or if someone starts, blowing up my email account with non-personal downline signups, I'll often post that in the Facebook group and just say congrats to, X, Y, and Z, and you'll see that a lot. Gregory does that a lot. Janet does that a lot. There's a lot of people who do that and recognize that. Seb does it, and Daniel does it, just recognizing their leaders that are forming underneath us. And so it's just all part of, again, recognizing those leaders, because they're going to be the ones that take off. And, I would love to have them kick me out of place 12 on the all-time list, because that means that, my team's growing and growing and growing.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it sounds like when we look back at everything you talked about, you came on board from day one. You took massive action because you saw the value. You went all in. You were using social media, you're using YouTube, you're using solo ads. You didn't just stick to one thing. You're kind of doing a little bit of everything. You knew you weren't perfect at it, but you took action anyway, which is great. You've grown a team of over 650 people. You've made almost $30,000 in doing just part-time. When you sponsor somebody in, you get a hold of them by any means possible. You have an actual physical conversation with them, find out what their needs are, and then you show them how to get started. Does that pretty much sum up the basics?
That's the good foundation right there.
And that, I mean, guys, that's as simple as it is. Now, everybody's got a little bit of a different way of doing anything or doing their thing. Some people will start with solo ads. Some people will start with YouTube. Some people will start with Facebook. Some people do Facebook ads, whatever it is. But the point is to start. Just go start. So, even for everybody that's here, that's, I can tell by some of the comments, and we'll get to your questions in a minute here. But for everybody that's here, that's sitting on the fence, or everybody that watches the replay, that's sitting on the fence, that hasn't pulled the trigger, they haven't gotten started yet because, whatever it is, they think it's a scam, they don't know if it's going to work, they don't know if they're going to have the support, they don't know if they have the confidence in themselves. What is your best advice to everybody watching this to really get going and get their business moving and get started?
There's so many different ways you could phrase this, but it's the whole get off the pot, right? But
you can say it. I already said shit once. You can say it.
Shit or get off the pot, right? Now, but again, going back to it, it's not one of those things. Many of you have probably been on email marketing lists where some of the marketers might even be outright rude if you don't join or if you don't buy something. And, they'll be telling you to get lost. It's like, okay, well, as we already said, maybe, an initial no isn't a no outright. Maybe it's just a no right now. Maybe it's a maybe. Maybe it's maybe next week. Maybe we'll look more into it. Maybe, they got to figure out their finances and they're going to come back. And so that's why I continually add, I have a domain addiction. I'm okay to admit that. I'm addicted to domains. And so I think I have over. What's that?
I got about 40 or so.
I multiply that by 5, and I think that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So yeah. but I use them as a novelty in a lot of my posts and on different blogs and in different social media areas. And so the one that I like the most is onefreakingdollar.com. And it's like, that's all it is. It's $1, man. Like if you got $1, you can test it out for 7 days. And then you can figure out if it's for you or not. If it's not for you, then we part as friends. Maybe if you're still on my email list, maybe there's something else that you find for me down the road, or I can point, you in the direction to. But it's only $1.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you are ready, then again, it's like, why wait? Why wait and put off, what you can do today? And the biggest problem, of course, is people being procrastinators is, they're not going to do it, or they'll say, okay, well, I'll look at it tomorrow. But then if there's no follow-up, then they never look at it. And so the only thing I can consider, it's like one of those things that our train is moving, and, the momentum is built up. We're going to keep going, and we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep going. You might be able to catch up, and you might be able to grab the back of the train, or you might be able to get in the front of the train. I don't know, but it's sometimes it's kind of difficult to say that without being, you don't want to come off as, rude or just, like a jerk. And, at the same time, it's not like, okay, if you don't follow me, you're going to be done and I don't want anything to do with you, because, again, like I said, I'll keep emailing you. I've actually had people that tell me to stop the emails, and my response is there is a unsubscribe button at the bottom of the email.
Yep.
But I don't take them off.
Yeah, same here.
I'm like, if you don't want to get any more messages from me, just click the button at the bottom that says click on here to unsubscribe. And then like a month later, I'll get another one from the same person.
Yep.
So, they've been getting months, email for a month or whatever. But yeah, it's, you want to kind of say something, but at the same time, it's like, just freaking do it. Yep. Like I said, it's, get off the pot and just take some action. We have a 30-day guarantee. If you really want your $1 back, we'll give you your $1 back.
Yeah, I mean, I say this on a lot of my webinars. Everybody, at the end of the day, everybody signs up for an online business opportunity because they want to live a certain lifestyle. They want, whether it's whatever that result is, whatever that physical or mental, spiritual, financial result is that you want, that is why people join business opportunities, because they want to bring a result into their life. So for most people, it's money. So the money can provide freedom and time and, ease of stress and finance and everything else. But here it is, point blank. You either want it or you don't. Just freaking decide.
Right.
You either want it or you don't. And I'll quote Jim Rohn, and please write this down because this is probably one of my favorite quotes ever. For those of you guys that have pen and paper or are typing notes, like I think it's Isabella, sorry. If you want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. There it is, my friends. If you want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. And the excuses are out there. They're plentiful. They're at you can just reach in your pocket and grab one. I don't have money. I don't have time. I don't have this. I don't have that. I'm not good enough, not smart enough. I'm not tech savvy, whatever it is. If you don't want to do something, you'll find an excuse. But if you do, you'll figure out how. That's it.
There was a post I saw today. I'm not going to name names, but basically it was someone who was basically putting themselves down, kind of like in that same scenario, just stating, the profession that they were in, saying, oh, well, I can't do it because I'm only a blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And Gregory had a great comeback. He's like, don't worry about that. He's like, one of our main guys that runs the company used to be a mason. He was a concrete mason. He worked with his hands all his life. And now here he is running a multi-million-dollar tech company. And so you don't have to come in knowing everything. It's a relatively simple system. We are here to help point things out. When you do need the help and when you have questions, we have a phenomenal support staff, that answers questions within the hours as well when there are problems. And so you shouldn't have to come in feeling overwhelmed, because we do have, those steps set, right for you. Again, it's about 7 steps And yeah, there's a little learning curve if you've never done those things before. And that's why we have videos that go along with it to kind of show you and walk you through that. And so on that same, respect of, not thinking you're good enough, a lot of times we also see that, oh, I don't have any money. And so you have to consider that to run a business it's going to cost you something. It's either going to cost you a lot of your time if you're going to do a lot of free methods, or it's going to cost you, a varying amount of money. Now you can start for as low as $25 with those, building your list with leads and get your first batch of 10, Facebook leads. These are real people who have gone through, basically a survey and filled out that they wanted to know more. So they're actually interested people. And so even at a low amount, just think about things that you're doing. Even if you're on a limited budget, think about the things that you spend your money on, and where can you modify and where can you adjust that. Personally, I just decided, because I thought there was a lot of junk in it. Years ago, I got rid of the newspaper because there was a lot of junk in it and it was all negative. I stopped watching the news because it was just a whole bunch of crap and just useless stuff that we weren't watching anyways. I finally got rid of cable. Now I still have the internet, so I can still watch Netflix and Hulu and watch some of my favorite shows. And I have a Fire Stick, so I can watch videos and things like that. And most of it you can get on YouTube. So it's not that I still don't do entertaining things and go out and enjoy myself, but I started to limit things. But just tonight, for example, I went and worked out quick. Did my 7-minute workout. And then we stopped for a quick bite to eat. And so just for the two of us, we just both got like a rice bowl with chicken and beans and stuff at Chipotle. It was about $18 just for the two of us. And so if you think about that, okay, so we only got water. If we had gotten drinks, to go with it, it would probably have been close to $25. That was, 1 night's of food going out would have been, 10 leads for me. And so, where are you spending your money? What are you using and doing right now that you can maybe repurpose and readjust to get that money to take that next step, to pay the $1 to become a member, or to pay the $50 to become active? So again, it's trying to have, what's right up here and having that right mindset that, like Daniel said, either you're going to do it or you're not. Either you're going to want it or you won't. And so we can be up here and we can, every week we'll be here. And actually, Joel, in theory, is almost doing webinars 5 days a week. Daniel's on Tuesday night. Richard and John are on Wednesday night. Janet's on Thursday night. So we're on multiple days, and we're always available to help you out. But we can't physically do it for you. We can't pay your way in. We can't pay for your advertising. Okay, it's up to you. You have to have the passion. And hopefully you'll see people like myself and Daniel that this is doable. Okay, Daniel wasn't making the money he was making a year ago with Now Lifestyle. He just started, and then it took off because he took massive and perfect action, and he's consistent. And that's what you see if you look at all those people on the leaderboards and they're constantly getting leads. Okay, there's those 4 leaderboards you can look at. You'll see repetitive names over and over again, and you can tell that those are the people that are consistent, because those are the people that up here, they know that this is going to continue to grow. And it's going to continue to produce success stories.
Absolutely. So, dude, I think you dropped probably about 117 golden nuggets in the last hour. I hope people took took some notes and can, honestly, guys, if you can just at least apply one thing from tonight into your business, it's just going to make your business that much better. So, before we kind of turn it over to any questions, David, any last words of wisdom or anything else for the group here before we answer questions for folks?
I think one of the things that's helped me, again, it's all mindset. When I got started, maybe I spent a lot of money and maybe there was things that I got involved with that didn't pan out. And I knew that even though I wasn't seeing success today, I knew maybe I wouldn't see it tomorrow. Maybe it wouldn't be next week or the next month, but I knew it was going to happen. Okay, I knew it was going to happen. Now, along the way, because I constantly tweaked and learned and I failed and I readjusted, I did have success along the way. So when you have a success, celebrate it. When you get that first lead, congratulate yourself. And when you get your first sale, man, you should be doing some jumping jacks. You should be pumped. And so part of this is to have a good time, have fun when you're doing it. It shouldn't be, a major stress. I know it can be to some people, especially if it's a financial issue, to get started. But make it fun. Okay, I think, if you watch any of the videos that we had, when we were in Cabo last year, if you watch any of the videos that myself and Danielle post workouts, you see that we're enjoying ourselves and we're having fun and we're trying to goof around.